Hi listeners, welcome to the video lecture series on power electronics. In the previous video, we could able to understand the fundamentals which are required to understand the operation of three-phase full-wave controlled AC to DC converter or controlled rectifier. In this video, we are going to look into its detailed operation. For further reading, we can follow this textbook on the corresponding page numbers. The circuit diagram of three-phase full-wave controlled AC to DC converter, which we have seen in the previous video, is again repeated here. It consists of 6 thyristors, and these 6 thyristors are grouped into 2 groups. One is the positive group SCRs, which is T1, T3 and T5, and the negative group SCRs, which is T2, T4 and T6. Some of the basic conditions in order to understand its operation clearly are given here. That is, only 2 SCRs will conduct at a time. In this of the 6, only 2 will conduct at a time. Probably one from the positive group and another from the negative group. And each SCR will conduct for a duration of 120 degrees. The third condition is, after every 60 degrees, one SCR turns off and another SCR turns on. These 3 points are important in order to understand its operation very clearly. As we have seen already in half-wave controlled converter 3-phase, SCR1 can start its triggering only at this point. That is, when omega t is equal to 30 degrees. Now we are going to draw the load voltage waveforms for different values of firing angle, for which the load waveforms are calculated or drawn for alpha is equals to 0 degrees first. Here I have 2 boxes. The top box is to draw the firing pulse for positive group SCRs, and the bottom box is to draw the firing pulses for negative group SCRs. I am going to draw the load voltage waveforms for alpha is equals to 0 degrees. As I said already that when alpha is equals to 0 degrees, which means that omega t is equal to 30 degrees, because before that omega t equal to 30, some other phase line voltage will be more positive than Vry. So T1 will start its conduction only at this point. As already said that every SCR will be conducting for a duration of 120 degrees. So T1 will start at this point and it will end its conduction after 120. If you look at each of this segment is 30 degrees. So T1 will start at this point and it will continue its conduction for 120 degrees. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 into 30 is 120. So T1 will start at this point and it will end at 150. So the total conduction duration of T1 is 120 degrees. Since this SCR1 is belonging to the positive group, I have drawn the firing pulses for T1 in the top box. T1 starts at omega t equal to 30. Now T2 will start its firing angles. T2 will start conducting after 60 degree from T1. So T1 starts here after 60 degree, in the sense it will start somewhere here. So T2 starting point is this and it will continue its conduction for 120 degrees. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So T2 will stop its conduction here. So T1 starts here, T2 starts after 60 degrees and it continues its conduction for 120 degrees. Since T2 is belonging to negative group, I have drawn in the bottom box. T3 will start its conduction after 60 degrees from the starting point of T2. So T3 will start after 60 degrees from starting point of T2. So starting point of T2 is here. After 60 degrees, in the sense it will start somewhere here and it will continue its conduction for 120. So it will end its conduction at 270. Starting from 150, T3 will stop its conduction at 270. So T3 is conducting for 120 degrees from 150 to 270. Now T4 will start its conduction after 60 degrees from the starting point of T3. So T4 will start its conduction from this point, that is 210, and it will continue its conduction for 120 degrees, that is it will stop its conduction 330. So T4 starts here and it continues till 330. And T5 will start its conduction after 60 degrees from T4. So T4 starts here after 60 degrees, in the sense the T5 will start at 270 and it will continue its conduction for next 120 degrees and it will continue its conduction till 390. Next is T6. T6 will start its conduction after 60 degrees from T5 starting point. So T5 starts here. So T6 will start here and it will continue its conduction for next 120 degrees. So T6 will start at 330 and it will end its conduction at 450. This is T6 stopping point. After T6, again T1 will start its conduction. So T6 starts somewhere here at 330. So T1 will again start its conduction at 390 and it will continue its conduction till 520. Again T2 will start its conduction after 60 degrees from the starting point of T1 and T2 will start here and it will continue its conduction, and again T3 will start somewhere here. And if you look at the beginning boxes are left empty. So if you look at in this complete cycle, before T1, T5 is triggered. You can just look at this. Before T1, T5 is triggered. So T1 is here. So this box is pertained for T5. So this is the T5 point. And now you can see that before T2 you have T6. So here also I have T2. So these three boxes should be for T6. Now I will replace all these boxes with the corresponding SCRs. So like this T1, this is T1, this is T1, this is T1 and this is also T1. Similarly, this box will be completely filled with T2. In order to make the understanding simple, I do this. So all the SCRs are named inside the boxes and I remove the boxes now. So now this is during the first 30 degree duration, T5 and T6 will be conducting. During the next 30 degree duration, T1 and T6 will be conducting. So now I can see that what all the thyristors will be conducting at each 30 degrees. If you look at from the first 30 degrees, T5 and T6 is conducting. So let us see what will happen if T5 and T6 is conducting in this circuit. So here I have given a button. Let me press this button T5, T6, and you can see that when T5 and T6 is conducting, the voltage at this point is VB. This is VB voltage, and voltage at the negative point of the load is VY. This voltage is VY. So the voltage which appears across the load is VBY. VBY is the voltage which appears across the load when T5 and T6 is conducting. And you can see that this is VBY voltage. So this voltage will be appearing across the load for the first 30 degrees. Now in the next 30 degrees, T1 and T6 is conducting. So this T1 and T6, when it is turned on, let us try to see what is happening. T1 and T6 is conducting. The positive of the load is connected to VR and the negative of the load is connected to VY. So the load voltage will be VRY. So if you look at, this is the load voltage VRY. So this will be the voltage which will be appearing across the load for the next 30 degrees. For the next 30 degrees also, from 60 to 90, T1 and T6 is continuing its operation. So again the VRY will be followed till this point. Now after 90 degree, that is from 90 to 120, T1 and T2 is in the on condition. So T1 and T2, when T1 and T2 is in on condition, let me press this button and see what is happening. T1 and T2 is in on condition. The positive of the load is connected to VR and the negative of the load is connected to VB. So the voltage which appears across the load is VRB, and this is the voltage which is VRB, which will be conducting from 90 to 120 and 120 to 150. So totally for 60 degrees, VRB will be continuing. Now the next 30 degree duration, T3 and T2 is conducting from 150 to 180, and 180 to 210 also T3 and T2 is conducting. So T3 and T2, if I turn on, you can see that when I press the button T3 and T2, the positive of the load is connected to Vy and the negative of the load is connected to Vb. So Vyb will be the voltage which appears across the load. So this voltage will be appearing across the load. From this instant, that is omega t equal to 210 to 270, T3 and T4 is in on condition. So let us see what is happening when T3 and T4 is in on condition by pressing this button. Once T3 and T4 is in on condition, the positive of the load is connected to Vy and the negative of the load is connected to Vr. So Vyr will be the load voltage, that is, this voltage will be appearing across the load. This is what it will appear across the load. And now from 270 to 330, T5 and T4 is conducting. So when T5 and T4 is conducting, let us see what is happening to the load voltage. Load voltage will receive this point of the load, the positive of the load is connected to Vb and the negative of the load is connected to Vr. So Vbr voltage will be appearing across the load, and the voltage which appears across the load is what it is shown here. So this voltage will be appearing across the load. Now in the next 60 degrees, that is from 330 to 390, T5 and T6 is in on condition. So when T5 and T6 is in on condition, the positive of the load is connected to B, that is Vb, and negative of the load is connected to Y, that is Vy. So Vby will be the voltage which is appearing across the load, that is this Vby. You can see that this blue continuous line, that is this blue continuous line. So this voltage will be now appearing across the load from this point forward. So again, the next 60 degrees, T1 and T6 will conduct. So when T1 and T6 is conducting, the load voltage will be equal to Vry. So Vry is this voltage. This voltage will be appearing across the load, and Vry will continue its conduction. Then now T1 and T2. When T1 and T2 is conducting, T1 and T2 is conducting, Vrb will be the voltage which appears across the load, that is this voltage will be appearing across the load, and again T3 and T2 is conducting. When T3 and T2 is conducting, Vyb will be the voltage which appears across the load, and this is the voltage which appears across the load. So this is how the load voltage looks for alpha is equals to 0 degrees. Now the conduction period of each thyristor, that is T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 and T6 is put in a form of a table as shown here. Now if you look at T1, it starts its conduction at 30 degrees, omega t equal to 30 degrees, and it ends its conduction at omega t equal to 150 degrees. So that is what it is given here. T1 starts at 30 and it ends at 150. T2 starts at 90, you can see this. T2 is starting here at 90 and it ends its conduction at 210. So that is what it is given here. So similarly, T3 starts at 150, ends at 270. T4 starts at 210, ends at 330. Similarly, T5 and T6 starts at 270 and 330 and ends at 390 and 450 respectively. This table is true for alpha is equals to 0 degrees. For other values of alpha, just I want to add the alpha here, which means that if I fire the thyristors at 30 degrees, then T1 will start its conduction at 60 and end its conduction at 180. That is what the meaning. So let me add alpha for all the thyristors, so that for different values of alpha, I can easily calculate what is the starting point and ending point of each thyristor firing points. So this is what the ultimate understanding of the complete full wave controlled rectifier in 3-phase condition. Now let us try to draw for different values of alpha, that is for 30, 60, 90 and so on. and we will understand how the load voltage will be appearing across the load. What is the shape of the load voltage waveform? Now let us try to draw for alpha is equals to 30 degrees. Alpha is equals to 30 degrees. The same table which is presented in the previous slide is again put here. Now alpha is equal to 30 degrees here. So T1 will start its conduction at 60 and ends its conduction at 180, which is what it is shown here. T1 will start at 60 and end at 180. T2 will start at 120 and it will end at 240, and which is what it is shown here. It starts at 120 and ends at 240. T3 will start at 180 and ends at 300. T4 will start at 240 and ends at 360. T5 will start at 300 and end at 420. T6 will start at 360 and end at 480. After T6, again T1 will come into picture. So T1 will start at 420 and it will end at 550. And T2 will start its conduction here and it continues for next 120 degrees. So now if you look at the previous boxes are left free, so that let us try to fill that. If you look at before T1, T5 is in on condition. If you look at the next cycle. So that is going to be true for this point also. So these two blocks are corresponding to T5. And if you look at before T2, T6 is in on condition. So there are 4 boxes here. All these 4 boxes is for 30 degrees. So 120 degree completely it is occupied by T6. Now let us try to fill all these boxes with the corresponding numbers. T1 for all these 4. Similarly T2 for all these 4, and for all the remaining boxes I filled it and remove all these firing pulses boxes. So now you can see that at every 30 degrees what is the thyristor which is in on condition is indicated. Now if you look at from 0 to 60 degrees, T5 and T6 is in on condition. So let me try to see what is happening with T5 and T6. Once I press this, you can see that T5 and T6 is in on condition. The top of the load, that is positive of the load, is connected to VB and negative of the load is connected to VY. So VBY will be the voltage which appears across the load for the first 60 degrees. So this is VBY. So this voltage will be appearing across the load for the first 60 degrees. For the next 30 degrees, T1 and T6, and from 90 to 120 also T1 and T6. So when T1 and T6 is in on condition, you can see that VR is in the top of the load and Vy is in the negative of the load. So VRY will be the voltage which appears across the load, and this yellow dotted line is VRY, which will be continuing, which this VRY will be appearing across the load for next 60 degrees. So this voltage will be appearing across the load for next 60 degrees. If you look at the next 30 degrees, that is 120 to 150, T1 and T2 is conducting. From 150 to 180 also T1 and T2 is conducting. So when T1 and T2 is conducting, you can see that VR is in the top of the load and VB is in the bottom of the load. So VRB will be the voltage. VRB is this red continuous line. So it is going to continue its conduction and this voltage will be appearing across the load from 120 to 180 degree duration. So this is the voltage which appears across the load from 120 to 180 degree duration. Now for the next 60 degrees, that is 180 to 240, T3 and T2 is conducting. So let us see what is happening with T3 and T2. When T3 and T2 is in on condition, VYB will be the voltage which appears across the load. So this voltage will be appearing across the load. This voltage will be appearing across the load. In the next 60 degree duration, that is from 240 to 300, omega t equal to 240 till 300, T3 and T4 is conducting. So when T3 and T4 is conducting, we can see that Vy is appearing at the top of the load and Vr is appearing at the bottom of the load. So Vyr is the load voltage which appears across the load. Vyr is this voltage which appears across the load. For the next 60 degrees, that is from 300 to 360, T5 and T4 is conducting When T5 and T4 is conducting, VBR will be the voltage which appears across the load. So VBR voltage is this point and this will appear across the. Now the next 60 degree duration from 360 to 420, T5 and T6 is conducting. When I see that T5 and T6 is conducting, you can see that VB is the positive of the load, Vy is at the negative of the load. So VBY will be the voltage, and this is the voltage which appears across the load. In the next 60 degree duration, 420 to 480, T1 and T6. When T1 and T6 is in on condition, VRY will be appearing across the load, and this is the VRY voltage which appears across the load. Now T1 and T2 is the next 60 degree duration conducting thyristors, and T1 and T2, if you look at, VRB is the voltage which appears across the load, and this is VRB voltage which appears across the load. Remember that this waveforms is corresponding to alpha is equals to 30 degrees. Now irrespective of the load, whether it is an R load or RL load, the load voltage waveform will be very similar for alpha is equals to 0 degrees and alpha is equals to 30 degrees. Now let us see what is happening when alpha is equals to 60 degrees. So let us go for that. Now let us try to draw the load voltage for alpha is equals to 60 degrees. I am going to draw the firing pulse for positive in the top box and negative group of thyristors in the bottom box. So when alpha is equal to 60 degrees, T1 will start at 90 and T1 will end at 210, which can be seen here. T1 starts at 90 and T1 ends at 210. Similarly, T2 will start at 150 and it will end at 270. T3 will start at 210 and it will end its conduction at 330. T4 will start at 270 and its end at 390. T5 will start at 330, end at 450. T6 will start at 390, end at 520. And again T1, after T6 again T1 will come into picture, which will start at 450 and it's continue for next 120 degree duration. And T2 will start here and it will continue for next 120 degree duration. If you look at, before boxes are left empty, so before T1 there are 3 boxes. Before T1 I have T5, so T5 will be conducting for the remaining past 3 durations of this particular cycle, that is from 0 to 90 degrees. And you can look at this T2. Before T2 I should have T6, but you have how many boxes here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So totally 5 into 30, 150 degree duration is there. But any thyristor can conduct only 120 degree duration. So T6 will start from here and it will end at this point for 120 degrees. Before T6 you have T4. So T4 is the starting point in this case. This is one of the important thing that you have to understand when alpha is equal to 60 degrees. Very important, every thyristor can conduct only for a duration of 120 degrees. That is why T6 starts here and ends its conduction here. So before T6, if you look at again T4, so that is why this is drawn here. This is one of the important point for understanding. Now let me fill all these boxes with the corresponding numbers of thyristors. So this is T1 and similarly all these thyristors are numbered with the corresponding boxes, and I remove the boxes now, and which is left out with the numbers for the corresponding 30 degrees of thyristors. If you look at in the first 30 degree, T5 and T4 is conducting. So T5 and T4, if I try to look at by pressing this button, T5 and T4, the top of the load, that is positive of the load, is connected to VB and negative of the load is connected to VR. So this is one of the important point. Now the voltage which appears across the load is VBR. But which is VBR? You can just see that this dotted red line is VBR. So this dotted red line is VBR. So this voltage will be appearing across the load when 0 to 30 degree, during the time of 0 to 30 degree. This VBR voltage will be appearing across the load. So this VBR will be appearing across the load. Now if you look at the next 60 degrees, T5 and T6 is conducting. So what is happening when T5 and T6 is conducting? VB is in the top, VY is in the bottom. So VBY is the blue continuous line. So this voltage will be appearing across the load from this 60 degrees. So this is the voltage which appears across the load from 30 to 60 degrees because of VBY. Now in the next 60 degrees, T1 and T6 is conducting. So let us see what is happening when T1 and T6 is conducting by just pressing this button. So when T1 and T6 is conducting, VRY will be the voltage which appears across the load. VRY is this yellow dotted line. So this voltage will now appear across the load. That is, from this point, this voltage will be appearing across the load. In the next 60 degrees, T1 and T2 is conducting. So when T1 and T2 is conducting, VRB will be the voltage which appears across the load. So VRB voltage is this point is VRB voltage. So this voltage will appear across the load. During the next 60 degrees, T3 and T2 is conducting. So T3 and T2, if you look at VYB is the voltage which appears across T3 and T2. So VYB is this blue dotted line. So this voltage now will appear across the load. In the next 60 degrees, T3 and T4 is conducting. T3 and T4, if you look at VYR is the voltage which appears across the load. So VYR voltage is this yellow continuous line. So this voltage will be appearing across the load for next 60 degrees. And this operation is going to continue for infinite number of cycles in a very similar fashion. This is how the load voltage looks for alpha is equals to 60 degrees. Again, irrespective of what type of load it is, whether maybe an R load or RL load, load voltage will look in a very similar fashion for both R load and RL load for alpha is equals to 60 degrees. Now let us try to draw for alpha is equals to 90 degrees, where you could able to differentiate how the load voltage will be for R load and RL load. Here it is different. Now for alpha is equals to 90 degrees, let us try to calculate or let us try to visualize the load voltage waveforms. And this is for positive half cycle, positive group of SCRs, and this box is for negative group of SCRs. For alpha is equals to 90 degrees, T1 will start at 120 and it will end its conduction at 240. Which is what it is given here. It is T1 is starting from 120, ends its conduction at 240, and T2 will start at 180 and it ends at 300. T3 starts at 240 and ends at 360. T4 starts at 300 and ends at 420. T5 starts at 360 and ends at 480. And T6 starts at 420 and ends at 550, and it goes on. And after T6, again T1 will come into picture. So T1 will start at 480 and it will continue its conduction for another 120 degrees. If you look at before T1, T5 is conducting. So here I have 4 boxes for one complete SCR. So before T1, T5 should be conducting. So all these 4 boxes will be occupied by T5. And if you look at after this, T2 should come. So T2 before T2, T6 is there. T6 it will occupy only 4 boxes, and before T6 I have T4. So these 2 boxes are occupied by T4 now. So this is the firing sequence of the SCRs for alpha is equals to 90 degree. Let me fill out all these boxes with this corresponding SCR numbers. So T1 is filled like this. Similarly, all the SCRs are filled in the corresponding rectangles, and I remove the rectangles for easy understanding. Now if you look at the first 30 degrees, T5 and T4 is conducting. In the next 30 degree also, that is from 30 to 60 degrees also, T5 and T4 is conducting. So when T5 and T4 is conducting, you can see that VB is at the positive of the load and VR is at the negative of the load. So VBR voltage will be appearing across the load. VBR voltage is this red dotted line. So this is the voltage which will be appearing across the load for first 60 degrees. So this voltage will be appearing across the load. One important point that we have to understand here. Now comes the differentiation between R load and RL load. Let me first assume that I am taking R load. If it is an R load, voltage shape of the load voltage and load current shape will be very similar. So load current will also have a very similar shape, and since it has crossed 0 at this point, load current also might have been crossed 0 at this point. So naturally T5 and T4 might have stopped its conduction because of the reverse voltage in the case of resistive loads are concerned. So it stops its conduction here, and in the next 60 degrees it will not conduct. T5 and T4 will not conduct. This is what we call it as discontinuous conduction. But if it is an RL load, the load current cannot come to 0 instantly like a resistive load. So it will take some time. So this negative portion of the voltage also will appear across the load if it is an RL in nature. So this is for RL load and this is for R load. This dark black line is for R load. Now we can differentiate here. The load current has become 0 here because of R load. So the next 30 degrees becomes discontinuous. If it is an RL load, the load current might have not become 0. So the thyristors might have been conducting for the next 30 degrees also. So the load voltage will become something like this in the case of RL load is concerned. This is where the differentiation lies between R load and RL load. For alpha is equals to 90 degrees. Whereas in the previous cases, there is no difference. Now for the next 60 degrees, that is from 60 to 120, T5 and T6 is conducting. Once T5 and T6 is conducting, the voltage which appears across the load is VB on the positive of the load and Vy on the negative of the load. So VBY will be the voltage which appears across the load. If you look at VBY, this blue continuous line is VBY. So the load voltage will try to follow this voltage from this point forward. At this point, the load voltage is becoming 0. If it is an R load, the current also will become 0. So for the next 30 degrees, there will not be any conduction, because since the current has become 0, these two thyristors might have been turned off, and the load reverse voltage will not appear across the load if in the case of R load is concerned. Whereas if it is an RL load, the load voltage will take a negative direction and this voltage will appear across the load, and this is for RL and this is for R load. This is for R load is concerned. For the next 60 degrees, that is from 120 to 180, T1 and T6 is conducting. So T1 and T6 is conducting. VRY will be the voltage which appears across the load. VRY voltage is this yellow dotted line. So this voltage will appear across the load. If it is an R load, the current also will become 0 at this point. So automatically the thyristors will turn off, and for the next 30 degrees the thyristor will not conduct. If it is an RL load, again this negative portion will be appearing across the load as indicated here. This is for R load. This negative portion is for in the next 60 degrees, that is from 180 to 240, T1 and T2 is conducting. So when T1 and T2 is conducting, VRB is the voltage which appears across the load. VRB voltage is this red continuous line. So this voltage will be appearing across the load. At this point, as I said already, the load current also might have become 0 if it is an R load. So for the next 30 degrees, there will not be any conduction. Whereas if it is an RL load, the negative portion will also appear because the current through the inductor cannot come to 0 immediately. This portion is for R load. This portion is for RL load. Again, same sequence is going to repeat for the remaining cycles also. So this is how the load voltage will look for the remaining cycles of the waveform for RL load here. When alpha is given as 60 degrees, there was no discontinuity. But when alpha becomes 90, there is a discontinuity. So any increase in angle of firing more than 60 degree leads to discontinuous conduction mode in the case of resistive loads are concerned, whereas for RL load it will be always continuous. Now let us try to derive the average load voltage expression for both R load and RL load. R load is concerned, it is in continuous conduction for alpha lying between 0 and 60 degrees, and discontinuous conduction when alpha is greater than 60 degrees. In the case of continuous conduction, the starting point of alpha is alpha plus 30 degree and ending point is alpha plus 150 degrees. Whereas the starting point and ending point of discontinuous conduction is, it starts from alpha plus 30 degrees and it ends at 180 degrees. Let us try to write the expression for the average load voltage of a single phase fully controlled converter, which is 1 by pi integration of alpha to pi Em sin of omega t d of omega t. This expression is for single phase. I am going to make use of the same expression to be converted for three phase. So EDC becomes 3 times. So this becomes 3 by pi integration of, now from alpha to pi, instead of alpha to pi it is alpha plus 30 degrees to alpha plus 150 degrees, and again I am going to make use of the same expression, which is Em sin of omega t d of omega t. If I simplify this expression, I will get EDC equal to 3 root 3 Em by pi into cos alpha. Let this be expression 1. For discontinuous conduction mode, I am going to make use of the same expression, but these limits are changed to alpha plus 30 to 180 degrees. So the expression becomes something like this. Upon simplification of this expression, I will get EDC equal to 3 root 3 Em by pi into 1 plus cos alpha plus 30. This is expression 2. The same expression 1 is valid for continuous conduction mode of RL load also. For RL load, same expression 1 is valid. Same expression 1 is valid. So this is what all about the 3-phase full wave controlled rectifier. In the next video, we will look into some of the simulation aspects of the AC to DC converter. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.